numbers.
Yeah, that's what
Drive will happen, sir. I think
yeah, it has to.
it will happen.
Now, sir. Now, understanding the core issues. Apart from sensors, apart from communication aspects, right? There is very important part of Industry 4.0, right? What can that be? Apart from sensors, apart from communication, there is a very key parameter which decides the entire success of Industry 4.0.
Top management commitment.
Yes? Anything else?
Your belief in the system.
Right, sir? Anything else? With respect to implementation of Energy 4.0. Starter? Data, okay. That is analysis. Anything else?
Interdisciplinary, taking that company has to give out their data to the analysis people.
Okay.
The specific objective and objective which you want.
Slightly nearer.
KPIs.
Okay. All that is management category. I am very much below the management level, sir, now. I am right now talking at ground floor level. No, where can I implement Industry 4.0?
Shop floor.
Yeah, issue and a problem. What is that issue and problem? Where can that exist?
At the shop floor.
Shop floor. What is the shop floor? What do we do in the shop floor? Manufacturing is what? Product.
Human interference with respect to the IoT.
First of all, you have to make your people educated for the same. Like how to work with the sensor, how to collect the data.
True,
The
ma'am.
person who is working on a workshop, how can I expect that he knows this software, that software, how to collect the data, how to deal with this sensor. What
Right.
the protocol is, what the stack is. Because even who are sitting on the management side, I don't think they can be, they just give the order.
Yeah, they want only pizza.
Now you tell me. You want me to educate you on the sensor. What sensor do I have to educate you on? I should know. You should know. No? What sort of a sensor is required? Or I should know what sort of a sensor I need to educate you on.
Domain knowledge.
Can I just simply talk about sensor A to Z? No.
Domain knowledge.
I have to be very specific.
Domain knowledge.
Yes, domain knowledge. See, I need to know what process I am trying to automate. If I do not know the process, what sort of Industry 4.0 are we going to be talking about? If I know the process, I can talk about sensors. If I know the process, I can talk about analysis part. Right? How many of you have used thermographic analyzer? I think you have. Principal was saying that you have a thermal imager, right? Now, thermographic imager, since most of you have not seen it, the image that is shown on the screen is relative, right? If you have a hot spot at 100 degrees centigrade, right, the image looks the same as you have a hot spot at 35 degrees centigrade, right? Now, unless you relate the product, you will not be able to analyze what is the information that is being given by the thermal imager. You have to understand what is the lowest spot, what is the highest spot, and then analyze. Because the hottest spot, 100 degrees centigrade, gave the same color radiation as 35 degrees.
We did some analysis of all our circuit breakers.
Right, sir.
And we got thermographic image, but the interpretation is
That's what I'm
very
saying.
specific to domain.
Domain.
So, if you know the process, yes, you are on the nail. You are hitting the nail. If not,
Another image.
Industry 4.0 is again
Another category.
a game without boundary. You kick the ball wherever it goes. You have no goal point. Keep kicking the ball till you get tired. Now, coming to the scope, I will just give you, of course, we did touch upon that, what we have. India's advantage is its ample supply of skilled technical labor. Like I said, although infrastructure issues and reliable supplies of resources like power, water could have a damping effect, obviously we still have quite a good amount of skill that is available with us, and this is where you find the scope. Right? We do have that. Plenty of it is available with us. Industry 4.0 is a meeting of real and virtual worlds in manufacturing and involves the full integration of manufacturing technology and systems to make a smart factory. This you all know. Now, what is the potential? Right? We all talk about dollars. I would say let's talk about rupees. Right? A small scale establishment, if we work upon, the business potential is something around 15,000 crores. That's what international market says. This is one of the article which I picked up just to show you what it is. Now coming to our basics. Again I have taken up MSME report. Right? It doesn't consider basically the large scale industries. Micro, small and medium scale industries. Right? Now let's just look at the contribution. $361 lakh units in India working under MSME category. Even if we assume that we address 1% of this, how many entrepreneur characters can we bring them out? Can we address them? Next. Contribution of MSME to Indian economy is 42%. Yeah. Sudden change. Business operations, productivity improvements, risk reduction, business growth, incremental revenue, new revenue. These are all some of the clips I would not basically touch, but I wanted to show you this with respect to the potential that we have. Yeah. Let's look at this business operations. Planning. Like I said, if we can change our mindset, if our engineering behavioral approach can be tuned, yes. Now, what is the business opportunity here? Right? Get into the shoes of the entrepreneur, understand their process, right? Don't go to them as an expert. Go to them as an engineer, as a raw engineer. Very moment we say we are experts, he expects very high funda information and he might not even share certain basics with you. And this can come only from an young engineering graduate. He can proudly say, sir, I have come to you to learn. Right? And that industrialist will be happy to teach him his process. If I go there, he will not teach me. Right, sir? And this is the advantage, this is the opportunity that we can encash upon in understanding their process, trying to understand where, tell them where actually development can happen. I'll show you an example, like I said. Factory creating a digital link between operations and information technology, which is automating and scaling aftermarket operations, Now on the business growth products, now what sort of a developmental market growth can an entrepreneur or an industry have once he gives out or he allows the young engineering graduate to walk into his premises? Some new, very crazy ideas come up. Maybe they are not relevant to him, but yes, they are crazy ideas. They can make a major change in his entire way of thinking. Because he goes there with open mind, he doesn't know what it is. He simply just talks to him as a learner, and the expert, industrial process expert, shares all the information with him because he knows he is the boss. Right? So once he shares all the information, you know what happens. The creativity that is hidden in a student, an young engineering graduate, starts taking shape. Right? And that is where creativity can be converted into a business opportunity. Customers, yes, once you have a different way of thinking, your customer base goes up, and accelerating innovation and design is another part. Now, like I said, I would like to give you one insight. How many of you are very familiar with poha? Almost everybody. There can't be an Indian who says, no, I have not seen poha, or you have not tasted poha. Is there anyone who has not tasted poha? Illa? Avalakki? Chuda?
No, sir. We are from Kerala.
Aval.
You are-
It's Aval, Aval.
Avil.
Yeah.
Avil. Ah, okay, okay.
Okay. Sorry for there's a language barrier.
You have to add 2 or 3 more words in other languages.
Sir, see, how many varieties of this product you know? How many varieties?
3-4 varieties.
Nylon variety,
As many culinary skills will create. As many.
nylon,
Yeah, they can add
Paper?
everything.
huh?
Yes.
Roasted, right? Soap, you name it, you can give any different
Flavor.
flavor. Now, how are these created? Is it that you have a different raw material? Raw material is the same, right? Raw material is the same. Like I will show you. Now, those of you who are ready to get your hands a bit dirty, you can feel this. These are two. Intentionally, I have put this in one bag. The other one is in 2 bags, and 2 plastic bags, just to differentiate. Now, this is the one which has already taken the final shape, right? This is the one which is yet to get into the process. Now, these 2 samples, I can circulate it, there is no problem. But if I soak this 2 samples in water for different time zones in the sense not necessarily the morning, afternoon, say time period, I'll say time period, 4 hours, 4.5 hours, finished product is different. 4 hours, 6 hours, product is different. Huh? Are you getting it? So, the process knowledge starts from understanding what it is, what I want to churn out. Now, if I take this, soak this for 4 hours, and then leave it out for drying for some time, even that drying period is fixed, which only a technician on the shop floor understands. And he understands by feel of the product. Right? This is intellectual property. Nobody on this earth can steal this intellectual property. No research paper can probably work on this.
Process knowledge.
It's a process knowledge. It's on the floor. Because the same variety can change for the next batch. Right? So nobody can give you a guarantee that I will give you the same finished product for the next batch. Right? Now, the next comes, what is the content of the acceptable
Parameter
paddy?
of
Acceptable paddy. See, this might have 10% impurities. This might have 15% impurities. Or this has some stones in it. This doesn't have. Right? Now, question comes, how do I industrialize this? How do I put this into industry 4.0 perspective? The sensor that works on these two products should understand the weight of this granule paddy piece and bifurcate it from its mother lot and send it to a finished product. Right? That sensor should understand, okay, this is a stone. Right? I need to separate this out. The sensor should understand that this is a different color. How many of you know about Sortex? Probably when you buy rice, they say Sortex. Right? What does the Sortex mean? It bifurcates every granule of rice from the mother lot. When it varies, whenever it finds a color deviation. So you find a uniform color when you see the rice pack. Right? So those sensors are the ones which actually decide what to do and what not to do. Right? Now here, that is the first sensor that I need to work upon. Right? Now these sensors are basically coming from Japan now for the color Sortex, not for this product. But here is an opportunity where you find thousands of these industries, right, who are making poha for all of us. This is the opportunity where we can work on manufacturing or designing a sensor. Right? And this has to come invariably from an educational institution like this. It cannot come from an industry because Government of India unfortunately doesn't believe in industries.
Or R&D.
Any research grant is given to an educational institution and you have ample part of it.
Now there is a change, sir. Nowadays they insist that there must be an industrial
Partner.
partner.
Yeah, you need an industrial partner because educational institutions don't have the industrial expertise.
No, the industrial partner should come with some contribution, financial contribution also.
Thanks. If it is an association, you can take him as an associate and you send a proposal to Department of Science and Technology, they will give you grants. It is there. But that's what I said, it doesn't believe in industries. It believes in organization as an institution because you are supposed to be a non-governmental or non-profit organization. Right? So this is the area where we can churn out entrepreneurship qualities from the engineering graduates. Right? Now, coming to the next part, somebody would like to test and then have a feel of this? You can, please. There are tissue papers arranged in case you would like to refresh. You can take some time, sir. You can take a look at this. I'll show you the photos also as to how it is being manufactured. Okay. Shall we proceed?
Yes.
See the next part, after it is cleaned, okay, it takes a different shape. Now you can see this person playing the role of a sensor, right?
Yeah.
Not necessarily pure sensor, because it is done by some other part of it by gravity suppression, but he is slightly one part of the sensor where we can work upon. This is the product. This is the rejected part, right? Now this is clean, washed, soaked paddy, which is ready to go for production. Now this you can touch, sir, no problem. Right? No, ಅದು waste ಅಲ್ಲ ಅದು. It is a raw product. It's raw. It contains dust, stone, straws. Right? Yeah. Right, sir? Now, you can see this. There are two silos. Of course, this is not a silo where ideas are dumped. It's a silo where paddy is dumped. Okay, so this paddy is sent to the top silo and soaked in water for certain time of as the process requirement. Right? Now, here again, we have an opportunity for a sensor. Now, the sensor should start. Basically, it's nothing but a timing sensor. Timer. Very moment water's valve is closed. Once the tank is full, you close the valve, the timer starts ticking. Say 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, as per the requirement. Right? So, once the timer starts, right? Ask to say if it is timer programmed for 4 hours, end of 4 hours, the valve at the bottom. Of course, it is done in between these two silos. It's here somewhere in between. You have one more silo here. Okay. This opens out by itself. Right? But paddy doesn't come down. It allows the water to go out. Right? Then it takes a dip. Once all the water is drained out, soaked paddy comes in, sits into the silo. Right? Again, after certain time of duration, certain duration, it then takes a dip down below. Okay? Which is then sent to the next step. Right? Now, I have shown here in parallel. Okay? I'll just discuss this as we go. Now, once I know paddy is ready for roasting, right? It has already met, soaked for so many number of hours, it has dried out, okay? Then I send it for roasting, okay? So when I say I send it for roasting, I use this sawdust to fire the. Now here you can see, right? It is being fed. There is also fire. Of course, you will not be able to see, but you can see some sparks here, right? Now look at this. A very important part. This lady sits for 8 hours in front of the bin, right? Collecting that 4 or 5 kg of weight of paddy, right? And then sending it to the next part. Now imagine, just think, how many of you can stay in a steam room for more than a minute? How many of you can inhale steam for more than a minute? You can inhale steam for more than a minute? How long, madam? Beyond that? 2 minutes. Right? Now this lady sits there for 8 hours. Right? Now this is what I am trying to hit upon. If Industry 4.0 can work on this part, if I can bring in a sensor, right? These are not high funder sensors, right? You can see there is an automatic sensor there which is already placed. Can you see this? Weighing pan. There is a brick. There are some steel parts. Okay. Very moment the weight is filled, it takes a drop. She simply pulls it out and keeps it aside so that the next bucket starts filling. Right? No, don't we have a sensor for this? Can we not have it? Even a simple proximity sensor can do the job for us. Right? Now what do we need to do? Simply put this into Industry 4.0 concepts and try to implement that. Right? Now question comes next. See this lady. She also works for 8 to 10 hours. I am talking to you 8 hours because legally a laborer is not supposed to work for more than 8 hours. But in a private industry it is never 8 hours. Right? Now this lady carries those 2 baskets, and then places it next to this operator. Can you see this? Right? Now, the next part of sensor is this. I need a sensor to understand when to pour the paddy into the crushing bin. If you can understand that, one task is done. I can ask this particular lady to move over to a packing division. Right? Now comes this. Now what is this? I am giving 2 more samples. You will have to understand yourself which one is primitive and which one is finished. Yes, sir. There are 2 samples of poha. Okay.
These are finished.
You can touch it and see, sir. You will feel by yourself.
The texture.
Feel the texture. Now that is why I said feel by yourself. Right? Now this feel of texture is what we need to work on the sensor. If I can devise a sensor to feel the texture of the poha, right? Then I know when to pull out this crushed paddy from this bag. She basically literally puts her fingers into the crusher, feels the paddy, right? And then decides when to pull out the paddy from the crusher. That is the first version, right? That feel also is important. Now next part. See, now she has pulled out, poured it into the bin. Now from here it takes into one more small silo which opens out into a filtration double crusher here into this machine from the top. Now this actually is not with all the industries. In 2008, fortunately I had a very good client of mine. This we have taken from horizontal manufacturing process to vertical manufacturing process, where we could eliminate 25 laborers. I would not say,
Not only that, the square area is.
yeah, it's not just the area, sir. For me, it is not the area. For me, it is not the laborer. I am happy to say this because I have eliminated 25 laborers from that hardship.
Yeah. Hazardous area.
Yeah, it is really hazardous because now you see fire wood powder, but actually they burn tire.
Rubber. Smell of
Right. Now people have started using powder. 2009 they were using tire. Any amount of rubber that was there, plastic, because it is very easy to catch fire. Wood takes a lot of time. Right. Now this poha that comes out from this particular crusher takes an entry, and of course after you look at this, don't stop eating poha.
Sir, manali option illa bitti.
Sir, see, since it has been partially automated, okay, now this through the conveyor takes an entry into the top hopper of there, and then it is blown through a air blower into the open area. You can see the heap falling here. Now this is not just for a purpose of storing, right? It is with a process retirement.
Lighter will fall.
So it basically needs to cool down. There is a cooling period for this poha. After it has completed this process, it has a cooling period. If not, they would simply place a bag there in front of it, pack it and give it. It starts smelling foul. You start getting a foul smell. Right? So once you have the cooling period, right? It has done its process, you start bagging it. Now here is again an opportunity for a sensor. The sensor has to understand, okay, this product is now ready for
Packing.
backing.